In this video, we're going to cover academic integrity. You may remember as a kid defending a bad decision to an adult by saying, "But everyone else is doing it." Today, as a student in an online or remote class or an in-person class, you may be tempted again to participate in questionable behavior because you see your classmates doing it. After all, if my classmates are doing it, why shouldn't I? Regardless of the reasons why you may be tempted to participate in questionable behavior or academic dishonesty, and there may be several, your integrity is an important part of who you are, and once you compromise that integrity, it's really hard to get it back. As Madison Surratt, an academic and an administrator from Vanderbilt University, once told his students on honesty, "Today, I am going to give you 2 examinations, one in trigonometry and one in honesty. I hope you will pass them both, but if you must fail one, let it be trigonometry." So what constitutes academic dishonesty? Some examples of academic dishonesty are plagiarism, the use of another's words, ideas, data, or product without appropriate acknowledgement, such as copying another's work, presenting someone else's opinions and theories as one's own, or working jointly on a project and then submitting it as your own. I'm going to take a second here and just pause to talk about that it's very important that you understand exactly what academic dishonesty is and how to avoid it. Specifically with plagiarism, there are some cultures and nations where the concept of plagiarism is not the same as it is here in the US. So for you may not have been exposed or understand citing original sources, paraphrasing, or even the concept of academic integrity itself. Make sure that you're taking the time to learn about the different aspects of academic integrity in your classes and understand everything that they mean. Cheating. The use or attempted use of unauthorized materials, information, or study aids, or an act of deceit by which a student attempts to misrepresent academic skills or knowledge, unauthorized copying, or collaboration. Fabrication. Intentional misrepresentation or invention of any information, such as falsifying research, inventing or exaggerating data, or listing incorrect or fictitious references. Collusion, assisting another to commit an act of academic dishonesty, such as paying or bribing someone to acquire test or assignment, taking a test or doing an assignment for someone else, or allowing someone to do these things for one's own benefit. Although it's hard to say no when a friend asks you if they can copy your work, it's really important that you do say no. If you don't, you're just as responsible for the cheating as the student that's copying. So why do students participate in academic dishonesty? Most students don't plan to. It's often a response to test anxiety, upcoming deadlines, or outside pressures. Realistically, it's likely that you will experience anxiety during at least one assignment or assessment, especially a big exam. But it's important to understand that you can manage this experience, because anxiety can lead to a fight or flight response and can sometimes cause us to feel the temptation to use resources that are not allowed. Try the following techniques to conquer this feeling. Don't give in to the temptation. To avoid the fight or flight mode as much as possible, make sure you're keeping up with the coursework and not waiting until the last minute to complete assignments. As you're working through assignments, try not to use resources you aren't allowed to for an exam. For an example, in a math class, don't rely on a site or a tutor that will do the steps for you. It may be helpful to look at an outside resource to help you learn the material, but ultimately you should be the one doing the work without help. Think about it this way. Believing that you've learned a concept by having an app do it for you is like believing you know how to play the piano by having an app practice playing a song for you. What's going to happen at your piano recital? Probably the same thing that will happen when you try to take your exam. More than likely, you will realize in that moment that you don't know the material, and this will definitely lead to more anxiety. If you rely on outside resources as a crutch during assignments, they may help you in the short term to get them done, but in the long term, they'll lead to gaps in knowledge and actual understanding of the concepts. Some outside resources solve problems in ways that only a computer would do. More than likely, there are better ways that your instructor can give you guidance on. Remember, your instructor wants to see you succeed, so reach out to them for resources they think can help you. Bottom line, whatever resource you use, just know that you haven't mastered the concept until you can do the work on your own, without outside help. Learning concepts comes from the struggle. If you know something automatically, then you're not learning. This means that struggling is okay. Having an app, website, or person doing the work for you won't actually help you learn and push through the struggle. You're much better off re-reviewing the resources already provided by your instructor. Ensure you ask your instructor questions when they come up and get help right away. Actually fully prepare for any exam using the techniques we share in the How to Study for an Exam video. Most schools have consequences for violating academic integrity policies, which can even include removal from a course or the school altogether. Make sure you're aware of these repercussions by viewing your school's specific information on academic integrity. Guidelines for academic integrity. Students assume full responsibility for the content and integrity of the coursework that they submit. The following are guidelines to assist you in observing academic integrity. You must do your own work and submit only your own work on exams and assignments unless otherwise permitted by the instructor. This means you should not use any outside resources unless you're permitted to. The work you turn in must be your own work, not work that you copied from a tutor, website, classmate, etc. If your instructor allows you to work with others on an assignment or exam, it's okay for you to brainstorm and work through the assignment together. It's not okay to have someone else do any part of it and then copy it and turn it in as your own. Make sure you follow all written and/or verbal instructions given by your instructor for these exams and assignments. You're responsible for knowing these and understanding these. Ensure you know what resources are or are not allowed and ask any clarifying questions if you have any. It's tempting to skim over the directions just so you can get to that assignment or exam, but don't do that. Take your time and fully read and understand all directions before starting. And you also want to read the syllabus and understand all course requirements for your particular course. At the end of the day, maintaining your integrity is more important than any grade you may receive. And by following these steps and understanding that you are not alone, you can be successful and you can do it.